Good evening and welcome to the Monday, August 1st, Safety Services and Licensing Committee. I know we have one absence, Councilwoman Lamas Vargas. She had a pre-planned vacation. And our council president will not be here tonight and Councilman Riley will be late, but I would like to start. We do have a quorum, so I will ask the clerk to please take the roll.
Councilwoman Mazzulli. Councilman Riley. Council Vice President Ferry.
Present.
Councilwoman Jermaine. Present. Councilwoman Vargas. Councilman Campiano.
Present.
Thank you. Typically, we would approve the meeting minutes from last month, but I would like to entertain a motion to continue as the clerk did not have an opportunity to finish those for us. So I would like to entertain that motion.
Motion to continue.
Second.
Any discussion? There being none, clerk, please take the roll.
Councilwoman Mazzulli.
Yes.
Council Vice President Ferry.
Yes.
Councilwoman Jermaine.
Yes.
Councilman Campiano.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. We will move on to committee business matters carried over. The first item on the agenda, we have a mobile food establishment license for La Berea LLC. This is continued from July 11th. And is there anyone present here representing that establishment? No. Anyone on Zoom?
I see nobody on Zoom.
Quick, Rose, could you tell me, were they re-notified up here?
Yes, they're sent a letter and also a phone calls made to them to remind them.
Excellent, thank you. Okay, I would like to entertain a motion to continue this again.
Motion to continue.
Second.
Any discussion? There being none, clerk, please take the roll.
Councilwoman Mazzulli.
Yes.
Council Vice President Ferry.
Yes.
Councilwoman Jermaine.
Yes.
Councilman Campiano.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Next, we have another mobile food establishment license. This is for Twisted Churros LLC, also continued. If there is someone present in the audience, if you'd like to come up to the podium, I will ask if there's anyone here in the audience who would like to speak about this license application or on Zoom tonight.
I see no comment on Zoom.
Okay, so I'd ask that you just give us your name and your address for the record. You might have to press the button and put your microphone down closer to you. And then if you want to tell us a little bit about your business and
Yeah.
then.
Hi, I'm Pocky, the owner of Twisted Churros. Pocky, P-O-C-K-Y, owner of Twisted Churros. We specialize in freshly fried, handcrafted churros with ice.
I don't want to interrupt you. Can I have your address too? We
41
just need.
Avenue Way, Woonsocket.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, so we specialize in freshly fried churros and ice cream. We are a mobile vendor and this is the last permit that I need.
Excellent. I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, for discussion, is there any questions from the committee? I have a question. Are you doing this at Mulligan's Island? Is that what
I will not.
primarily? No, you're not? Okay, where, do you know around where you're gonna be?
I actually am doing PVD food truck events with Eric, so I do have a couple events lined up somewhere around here. We were gonna do one in Kranston, hence the permit, but it didn't work out, so I wanted to have this just in case I do events or private events. I at least have that.
Excellent. So I'm sure there will be things coming in
Yeah.
the fall with
Especially in the
schools too.
fall.
Yes, definitely. So excellent. Thank you. Welcome to Kranston. If there are no other questions, I would ask the clerk to please take the roll.
Councilwoman Mazzulli.
Yes.
Council Vice President Ferry.
Yes.
Councilwoman Jermaine.
Yes.
Council Campiano.
Yes.
Thank you so much. You have a good night. Okay, next we will move to new matters before the committee. First on this agenda, we have a Class A liquor license transfer. This is for a change of ownership from Not Fade Away Inc., DBA Alpine Wine and Spirits. Is there someone here representing? Okay, thank you. And I will ask, is there anyone here in the audience tonight to speak for or against this application? Anyone other than people representing the actual company? Is there any, are you all together? Okay. Is there anyone on Zoom who would like to comment on this application?
I see nobody on Zoom.
Okay, I'm going to entertain a motion. There's a lot of people here.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, we're now open for discussion. If you could just introduce yourself before you speak and give us your address and go right ahead. You have a couple minutes.
Through the chair.
Can you can you make sure the green light is on?
Oh, okay. Good evening. Tia Priolo, attorney Tia Priolo representing Rav Inc. They are the potential buyers of the property. I also have my client with me, Vishal Modi, and
Robert Peretti, attorney for Not Fade Away Inc. I'm here with my client Thomas Jackman. My address, I'm an attorney with offices at 1140 Reservoir Avenue in Kranston.
and my
Okay.
office is at 167 Main Street in Westerly.
Excellent, thank you. Now, I do know, clerk, we may have received some letters concerning this application. So the clerk has brought to my attention, there may be some alleged bills that need to be paid. So I just want to put out there that before we would approve anything, it's subject to those being taken care of, any tax liens, anything like that.
Understood, yes.
In due course, I mean, they're going to be cleared up.
All right, thank you. If anyone would like to summarize what we're doing here tonight, and then we'll ask some questions and vote.
Well, this is obviously a petition for a liquor license transfer. I know that I'm here for my partner, Rick Scungio, who had submitted the application, as well as a number of supporting documents for that. I think the application is, aside from the liens being paid off, is complete. If anyone has any concerns, we'd be happy to address them. It's a pretty straightforward application.
Okay, excellent. Would the new owner like to speak, or the attorney?
Did you say the new owner?
Whoever, everyone has the opportunity to speak
Sure.
if they would like
So
to.
This is Mr. Modi. If you have any questions of him, he'd be happy to answer your questions.
Good evening. My name is Vishal Modi. I'm from 5 Shadowbrook Crossing, East Greenwich.
Okay, excellent. And I guess I'll start off with some questions. Are you planning to operate exactly the same way? We're just transferring the license. You're still going to operate as Alpine Wine and Spirits,
Yes,
correct?
DBA is.
Okay.
is the same.
And are you keeping the same hours as well?
Yeah,
Okay, anything changing at all?
no.
No? Okay. Those are the questions I have. Any other questions from the committee about this transfer? Okay, there being none, would anyone else like the opportunity to speak?
I was here actually when Mr. Jackman applied for the transfer 12 years ago. He's been operating his business ever since. I don't believe he ever had a complaint or any issues with his license. So I'm free to answer any questions if you have them.
All right, excellent. I don't have any other questions. I would just say if you could clear up the payment to the distributors. Attorney Vajecchia, is there anything else that we have to ensure here?
No, but when the motion is made, just please add the language that the transfer is approved, subject to the discharge of all liens, encumbrances, and or debts.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, if you wanted to withdraw the motion to approve, so we can add that language.
Withdraw my motion.
Okay, I will entertain a motion to approve pending payment of and all discharges of any liens or bills to distributors.
Second. I make a motion to approve pending any charges lien against this company.
Second.
Any further discussion? There being none, clerk, please take the roll.
Councilwoman Mazzulli?
Yes.
Council Vice President Ferry?
Yes.
Councilwoman Jermaine?
Yes.
Councilman Campiano?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. While you're still up there, you are next on here for holiday sales license as well. This is for Rob. And I will see, is there anyone who is here from the public to speak on this application? Anyone on Zoom?
Nobody on Zoom?
Okay, then I will entertain a motion.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, we're open for discussion. And I would just assume that this is a license to operate on holiday hours. Are there any other details that you'd like to provide?
No.
Does anyone have any questions on the committee about this license for holiday hours? Councilwoman Jermaine?
Yes, good evening. For this holidays, do you have specific holidays or just for any holidays?
By state law, we have only 2 holidays, Thanksgiving and Christmas. All other days we can stay open. Sundays we can open only 10 to 6.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Are there any other questions from the committee? Seeing none, clerk, can you please take the roll?
Councilwoman Mazzulli,
Yes.
Council Vice President Ferry,
Yes.
Councilwoman Jermaine,
Yes.
Councilman Campiano,
Yes.
Councilman Riley.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. You're all set. You have a good night. Thank you for coming in. Okay, next we have a massage therapy license. This is for House of Wellness, Inc. Is there anyone here tonight representing House of Wellness, Inc. in this application? If you could please come forward. Is there anyone here in chambers tonight who would like to speak about this application from the public? Is there anyone on Zoom who would like to speak on this application?
I see nobody on Zoom.
Okay, thank you. If you could just introduce yourself, gives us your name and address, and tell us a little bit about your company.
Good evening. My name is Jacqueline Barrios. We are in 960 Reservoir Avenue, Suite number 10. And sorry, I didn't hear the last part.
It would just be, tell us a little bit
Oh,
about
okay,
your
yeah.
business.
So House of Wellness, okay. Is that better? Okay, okay. House of Wellness is, our vision is to be a place of just a wellness center, massage, aesthetics, pretty much for now. Which is why this is new for us. We are first generation family, so I just contacted and they told me I have to come here and submit for my massage therapy license to be approved or something. And so, yeah, pretty much massage aesthetics and that's it.
Okay, excellent. I will entertain a motion.
Motion to approve?
Second.
Okay, we're open for discussion. Does anyone have on the committee have any questions? Councilwoman Jermaine?
Good evening. Welcome
Thank you.
in Kranston. My question is, what will be the hours of operation?
Yes, Monday to Friday, Saturdays off, so Sunday to Friday. Saturdays off, half day Fridays, half day Sundays. Mhm.
What time you
So
will start?
9 to 12 and then open again 3 to 6.
Thank you.
Are there any other questions from the committee? I have a couple questions.
Yes.
So you're going to also, you'll be doing massage as well as aesthetics,
Yes.
correct?
My sister's, she's the esthetician, and I am the massage therapist. So it's a family business. My mom will be just there helping and my brother as well, just kind of taking phone calls and things like that.
Okay, fantastic. Do you have any questions for us or as far as with the licensing?
Yeah, and I'm just really wondering how the process will go, because I just knew I had to come here and then,
You will,
Yeah.
you'll be able to call the clerk's office and
Okay.
she'll let you know when you can come pick up the license.
perfect.
And then they can also give you the contact information for economic development. If you
Okay.
wanted someone to come and do a ribbon cutting, council members could come. We can make it a community event to help promote your business.
Perfect. Thank you.
Okay,
Mhm.
all right. I think that's all I need. Is there any further questions from the committee? Seeing none, unless the clerk should please take the roll.
Councilwoman Mazzulli,
Yes.
Council Vice President Ferry,
Yes.
Councilwoman Jermaine,
Yes.
Councilman Campiano,
Yes.
Councilman Riley.
Yes.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you very
Good
much.
luck. Next, we have a mobile food establishment license for Semper Pie LLC. Is there anyone here present from Semper Pie? Is there anyone on Zoom from Semper Pie?
I see no comment on Zoom.
Okay, I would ask that we entertain a motion to continue this to next month.
Motion to continue.
Second,
Any discussion? There being none, clerk, please take the roll.
Councilwoman Mazzulli,
Yes.
Council Vice President Ferry,
Yes.
Councilwoman Jermaine,
yes.
Councilman Campiano,
Yes.
Councilman Riley.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Next, we have another mobile food establishment license. This one is for vegan sugar. Is anyone here present representing? Hi, thank you. Is there anyone in the audience who would like to speak on this license application? Is there anyone on Zoom?
I see no comment on Zoom.
Okay, thank you. If you could just introduce yourself, give us your address and tell us a little bit about your company.
Nadine, 100 Sunrise Ave in West Warwick. It's a vegan ice cream sugar truck, vegan sugar ice cream truck.
Excellent. I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve. Second.
Okay, we're open for discussion. Does anyone from the committee have any questions for Nadine? Councilwoman Jermaine?
Hi Nadine. What would be the hour of operation of your company?
It's different hours every day, depending on what I gotta do. But I'm just doing it for the Mulligan thing, so I'm not really stationed over there.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, excellent. So you're gonna be at Mulligan's Island?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Do you have any questions for us?
No.
No? Okay. If there is no further discussion, then I'd ask the clerk to please take the roll.
Councilwoman Mazzulli,
Yes.
Council Vice President Ferry,
Yes.
Councilwoman Jermaine,
Yes.
Councilman Campiano,
Yes.
Councilman Riley.
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Nadine.
Thank you.
All right. Next, we have a resolution allowing the police department of the city of Kranston to collaborate with non-adjacent Rhode Island municipalities and police departments through a statewide mutual aid agreement. This is sponsored. Did I miss one? Thank you. My apologies. We have a victualling license. It's for Knightsville Meeting House Cafe. Is there anyone present representing Knightsville Meeting House Cafe? Hi, please come forward. Is there anyone present from the public who would like to speak about this application? Is there anyone on Zoom?
I see nobody on Zoom.
Okay, hi. If you could just give us your name and your address for the record and let us know a little bit about your cafe.
My name is Ariana Gilchrist. The address is gonna be 1665 Kranston Street. And it's just gonna be a coffee shop. We're gonna focus on like biodegradable cups. And yeah, it's gonna be a cool little place for everyone in the community to come and hang out.
Excellent, thank you. I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve. Second.
Okay, we're open for discussion. Are there any questions from the committee tonight? I just have a couple of questions. What will be your hours of operation and your days of operation?
I think we're just gonna be open 7 days a week and 7 to 3.
Okay, excellent. And let's see, so you said coffee is gonna be espresso,
Pastries,
chai.
Yeah,
yeah.
everything. Mhm.
Okay,
Super
excellent.
cool. It's gonna be super
Like a
cool.
trendy
Yeah, trendy.
little spot. All right, well, we are revitalizing Knightsville, so you will see a lot of changes happening in that area, and
Yeah.
hopefully should benefit.
That's why we incorporated the name too, because
Excellent,
yeah.
excellent. Any other questions from anyone? No? Okay, so you'll pick your license up at the clerk's office, and if you need help with a ribbon cutting, you can contact Economic Development.
you.
All right,
Thank you.
thank you. If there's no further discussion, I'll ask the clerk to please take the roll.
Councilwoman Mazzulli,
Yes.
Council Vice President Ferry,
Yes.
Councilwoman Jermaine,
Yes.
Councilman Campiano,
Yes.
Councilman Riley.
Yes.
Thank you. We're all set.
Thank you.
Okay, now we have a resolution allowing the police department of the city of Kranston to collaborate with the non-adjacent Rhode Island municipalities and police departments through a statewide mutual aid agreement. This is sponsored by Councilman Riley. And I believe we have Major Padalano here tonight, if you'd like to speak a little bit about this. Attorney Verjecchia, would I take public comment on this first or allow the major to speak first?
It's in your discretion. If you want to see if anyone wants to comment on it first before the major speaks, that's fine.
Okay, is there anyone present in the audience tonight who would like to speak about this resolution? Is there anyone on Zoom?
I see nobody on Zoom.
Okay, Major Padalano, it's all yours.
Basically, what this resolution goes hand in hand with the state law. It allows municipalities to give mutual aid in regards to departments where, right, the way it stood was you had to border the community to get mutual aid. This now expands to the whole state. It allows officers to go to, let's say, Bristol, Barrington, Newport, whoever would ask if they had unfilled details, if they needed assistance, the Bristol 4th of July parade, any big event. Basically, it's just an acknowledgement that the council is aware of this. It is something that we would think that you would endorse only because, as you know, we have so many unfilled details and mutual aid. When you drive through the city, you'll see other departments in our city currently. We have unfilled details today, yesterday, every day. Quite frankly, we need to fill these. The city makes money when our officers do them, due to the car fee, the administrative fee. So it's a benefit to us, and then we can get coverage. We have vendors that sometimes call and say, I ordered a detail. I have no one here. I need an officer to perform the work. We're going to be on a road at city streets, shut a road down, detour, and that requires a police officer. So it's basically just an acknowledgement, a resolution passed that supports the state law and allows our officers to go across the city line.
Thank you, Major. I will entertain a motion.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, we're open for discussion. Does anyone have any questions? Vice President Ferry?
I have a question. Would an officer in Kranston be required to accept the detail here first before he could go accept one somewhere else?
So the way it works now is we fill all ours, and I can tell you that we fill them every day. We have unfilled details. So we're a big police department, but we also have more details than most other departments aside from Providence. So we fill ours first, and then there's a portal that they go to and they can choose to take one in another city. But no, they have to fill ours first. We come first priority. And the reason we do that is because the city gains a lot of it's a revenue generator for the city. Every detail, every hour the car's out there, and every hour the officer's out there is an administrative fee. So it's a big benefit to the city.
Thank you.
Councilwoman Jermaine?
Do you have a number in terms of revenue that will be like approximately?
So I know last year, I believe, it was well over 400,000 with the admin fee and the coffee we brought in. And we gave away, there was a lot of unfilled details. I just say gave away unfilled details. We lost based on doing a number on how many unfilled details we had. We could have made another $300,000 if we filled all our details.
Thank you.
So that's why we want to make sure we can fill them.
Excellent. Thank you, Major. Let's see.
Thank you.
Is there any other discussion on this resolution? There being none, clerk, please take the roll.
Councilwoman Mazzulli,
Yes.
Council Vice President Ferry,
Yes.
Councilwoman Jermaine,
Yes.
Councilman Campiano,
Yes.
Councilman Riley.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. I see no business from the traffic engineer. We have no show causes. We just spoke with the police department, the fire department. The chief is here. Okay, and we will move on to license renewals that are before the committee. We typically entertain a motion to take these as a block if we can.
I'll move to take these as a block.
Second.
Okay, and we're open for discussion. I'll ask if there's anyone from the public on Zoom or present in chambers who would like to speak on any of these matters.
I see nobody on Zoom.
Okay, and is there any discussion on any of these matters? There being none, clerk, please take the roll.
Councilwoman Mazzulli,
Yes.
Council Vice President Ferry,
Yes.
Councilwoman Jermaine,
Yes.
Councilman Campiano,
Yes.
Councilman Riley.
Yes.
Okay, we need to entertain a motion now to approve that block.
So moved. Second.
Any discussion? There being none, clerk, please take the roll.
Councilwoman Mazzulli,
Yes.
Council Vice President Ferry,
Yes.
Councilwoman Jermaine,
Yes.
Councilman Campiano,
Yes.
Councilman Riley.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. We will move on to the monthly schedules. There is no schedule for the Kranston Stadium. There is a schedule if you click the link where you can see it at the Historic Park Theater. So I would entertain a motion to accept the list of events.
So moved. Second.
Any discussion? There being none, clerk, please take the roll.
Councilwoman Mazzulli,
Yes.
Council Vice President Ferry,
Yes.
Councilwoman Jermaine,
Yes.
Councilman Campiano,
Yes.
Councilman Riley.
Yes.
Okay, and we also have a schedule for the roads on the Patuxent. If there, would anyone please make a motion to
Motion to
accept this
approve.
list?
Second.
Any discussion? There being none, clerk, please take the roll.
Councilwoman Mazzulli,
Yes.
Council Vice President Ferry,
Yes.
Councilwoman Jermaine,
Yes.
Councilman Campiano,
Yes.
Councilman Riley.
Yes.
Okay, and next we just have two expansion of premises. These are temporary. They're for information only. No votes will be taken. This is for the Cranston Street corner is DBA Yaya's Restaurant. And we have another for Tony's Pizza Palace. There's no presentations. I have nothing else. I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to approve. Adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? All right, we are adjourned. Thank you. And finance is scheduled to start at 7 PM.
Good evening, everyone. I'd like to call the August 1st Finance Committee meeting to order. Madam Clerk, please take a roll.
Council Vice President Ferry,
Present.
Councilwoman Mazzulli,
Present.
Councilman Riley,
Present.
Councilwoman Marino,
Present.
Councilman Donegan, Councilman Campiano.
Present.
I entertain a motion for the approval of the prior meeting minutes.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Madam Clerk, please take a roll.
Council Vice President Ferry,
Yes.
Councilwoman Mazzulli,
Yes.
Councilman Riley,
Yes.
Councilwoman Marino,
Yes.
Councilman Campiano.
Yes.
First item under committee business matters carried over. Councilwoman Marino.
Thank you. This item is going to be continued to the full council meeting for discussion for executive session. I've spoken with the solicitor's office. We'd like to get some more factual details before we have a more in-depth discussion. Thanks.
Sorry, I failed to mention that it was a discussion on the issue of the Park Place Theater and Affiliates Agreement with the city of Kranston to use the parking lot. I'm sorry, I failed to mention that.
It's okay.
The next item is the opioid litigation settlement, and Councilman Donegan is not present, so I will continue that matter also. You guys, did you take your copy from here? Page 2 was missing. The copy machine didn't print them out. If somebody says something to Rose, they're going to get this. No, page 2 is missing there. Sorry. You guys got a sheet you can share? So we will continue the opioid litigation settlement discussion until the next meeting. Okay, at this time, I'd like to open up public hearings for all matters on the agenda except for the net metering contract. We will handle that last tonight. So is there anybody here in council chambers that would like to come up and testify on any matters on the agenda tonight besides the net metering contract? If so, please come forward. And when you come up, please make sure the green light is on and that you state your name and address for the record.
I'm Naket, 19 Hillside Avenue. Armand Naket, 19 Hillside Avenue. President of Local 1363. I'd just like to ask for your support on our contract that's going to be voted on tonight and hopefully pass through finance and go to the full council. Took us a few months negotiating it. I think it's a fair contract, not just for the firefighters, but for the city. We have some givebacks in the first year to help the city out. We have some minimal raises in the first year and second and third. I think it's fair. It's financially responsible, and it's got some health and safety things in there this year that I think will be very good for both the city and the fire department. And if anybody has any questions on them, answer them.
Thank you. At this time, does anyone have any questions for Mr. Naket?
Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else in council chambers that would like to testify on any matter on the docket tonight besides the net metering? Oh, okay. So the first ordinance on the docket is the ordinance ratifying the school committee's collective bargaining agreement with the Rhode Island Council 94, Kranston Public School employees, Local 2044. Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Is there any discussion? Councilwoman Jermaine.
Thank you, Council Vice President. Although I'm not in the Finance Committee, but I would like to really encourage all the members here to vote to ratify this ordinance. As we know, this is a great way to show how we care for our employees. And there's two ordinance, and I really urge you all while we are here to vote and approve them. Thank you.
Any other discussion? No further discussion. Madam Clerk, please take a vote.
Council Vice President Ferry,
Yes.
Councilwoman Mazzulli,
Yes.
Councilman Riley,
Yes.
Councilwoman Marino,
Yes.
Councilman Campiano.
Yes.
Motion passes, what, 5 to nothing? Okay, next we have the ordinance ratifying the IAFF International Association of Firefighters Contract Local 1363. Dates July 1st, 2022 to July 30th, 2025, sponsored by Mayor Hopkins. Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve?
Second.
Any discussion?
Sure.
Councilwoman Jermaine. She's on the Finance Committee, so we'll let her go first. Councilwoman Marino.
Thank you. I just wanted to thank both the administration, Director Perillo, and the union, Chief Warren, and everyone else who was involved in negotiating this contract. I do think that it's, fair with the percentages and the reorganization elements that will hopefully provide some efficiency improvements that was an ask of the department themselves. The only question I have too is from the administration, is to Director Perillo, if you want to make some commentary as to your thoughts on it as well. Thanks.
Sure, thank you. First of all, I want to thank the union. They were very willing to sit and talk for a long period of time. So we started this in January, just finished it. Obviously, with the financial concerns the city came upon during the budget season, that kind of derailed our initial talks. But I think it's a fiscally fair contract. It's actually $30,000 less than the previous firefighters contract from 3 years ago, which is pretty remarkable based on raises and everything else that's been going on. From the city's perspective, it gives us more managerial rights. There's going to be a new assistant chief who's out of the union, who's going to be handling a lot of managerial stuff that the chief does now. When it comes to keeping track of overtime, IUDs, sick time, policy, rules and regulations. So we think that new asset is a benefit to the city. The reorganization has been something that the departments wanted for a while. I think both the chief and the union, and we think it gives us a better capacity to respond to multiple incidents when they do happen at the same time. It gives us a better oversight on the whole department, and we think it's something that the department really wanted, and we wanted to make sure it got done, and that's why it got done. Also, some changes in the light duty wording, which again benefits the city. We're able to get these guys that are injured back into loop quicker. Give them a late duty assignment. They're able to help out at the station in various capacities, kind of gets them back into kind of getting back to full duty quicker. So I think for those reasons, that's a really good contract that benefits the union and the city.
Thank you. I'm all set. Thanks.
Thank you. Councilwoman Jermaine.
Thank you, Council Vice President. And this is just a comment, as I'm not able to vote tonight on this contract. But I want to mention that we have 3 pillars in our society, in our city: our police officer, our firefighter, our teachers. And those contracts, when we comes to discuss with them, we don't touch them. So please vote. Yes, I know you're gonna vote, but those 3 is so important, and we have to make sure we all agree when it comes to vote a contract for our fighters, our police officer, and our teachers, we don't touch them. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Any other discussion? Councilwoman Renzulli.
Thank you. This could either be for the administration or someone from here from the fire department. Could we just have a short explanation of how the reorganization is going to help monitor overtime and give savings for anyone in the public who would be listening tonight?
So from the city's perspective, I think the reorganization establishes that second assistant chief who's going to be tasked with really staying on top of the overtime, finding out if there's any trends, whether it's sick time, whether it's people that could be coming back to work a little bit sooner. That's going to be his main focus. So we think with that main focus, that's where the savings is going to come into play from the city's end. I don't want to speak for the union, but I think from their perspective, it's a safety issue. They brought that up several times during negotiations that they want to make sure their members are safe, as does the city. So I think it's a win-win. I think the savings that's going to be realized, you can't put a dollar figure on it. Is it 50,000? Is it $1 million? Totally unknown. But I think it's a step in the right direction.
Director Pearl, as we go forward and in the budgets in the years to come, do you think we will more certainly be able to quantify the savings that we're
Yes.
getting from this reorganization?
Yeah, I think once the position is established, there's kind of a new set of norms in the department. There's going to be some adaptations to rules and regulations as well. The red book, they call it, on the fire service. We're going to try to change the mindset a little bit and change the way things are done, if you want to say that. And we're hoping to get the SAFER grant this year. I think if we get that, that would really put a dent in the overtime, keep from these guys. Some of these guys are getting ordered over now. They're being held at saying, yep, you're not going home, you're staying, which is not healthy. So we're hoping the SAFER grant, along with these changes, will kind of help the overtime and help the department as a whole.
Great, thank you. And thank you to the chief and everyone in the union for working on this and, making some concessions. I know, health insurance is going up. You guys, worked with the city, and I know that everyone really appreciates that as we move forward. So thank you.
Any other discussion? Madam Clerk, please take a vote.
Council Vice President Ferry,
Yes.
Councilwoman Renzulli,
Yes.
Councilman Riley,
Yes.
Councilwoman Marino,
Yes.
Councilman Campiano.
Yes.
Congratulations. Okay, next we have real estate tax abatements. Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? Madam Clerk, please take a vote.
Council Vice President Ferry,
Yes.
Councilwoman Renzulli,
Yes.
Councilman Riley,
Yes.
Councilwoman Marino,
Yes.
Councilman Campiano.
Yes.
Next, we have tangible tax abatements. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved. Second.
Any discussion? Madam Clerk, please take a roll.
Council Vice President Ferry,
Yes.
Councilwoman Renzulli,
Yes.
Councilman Riley,
Yes.
Councilwoman Marino,
Yes.
Councilman Campiano.
Yes.
And next, we have interest waiver approvals. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Madam Clerk, please take a vote.
Council Vice President Ferry,
Yes.
Councilwoman Renzulli,
Yes.
Councilman Riley,
Yes.
Councilwoman Marino,
Yes.
Councilman Campiano.
Yes.
Okay. The last item on the agenda tonight, I will reopen public hearings for anyone that would like to testify on my request, which is an explanation from the solicitor's office on the status of the net metering contract between the city and Revity Energy. Dates, participants, benefits to the city, discount rate. Is there anyone in council chambers that would like to testify on this matter?
If I may, through the chair, I just want to put on record that I will be recusing from any discussion this evening on this topic, just as an abundance of caution, since I am a litigant in pending litigation with respect to the Natick Solar Project, which is an offshoot of the net metering contract, just for the record. Thanks.
Thank you, Councilwoman Marino. Is there anyone in council chambers that please come forward, state your name and address for the record, and you can have up to 4 minutes.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the Public Works Committee. For the record, Robert Murray, 21 Garden City Drive in Kranston. Mr. Chairman, members of the committee, as you know, I have spoken on this issue on several occasions, most recently at the June council meeting. I saw the item on the agenda, and I know you're interested in hearing from the solicitor. With me this evening is Mr. Ralph Palumbo of Rhode Energy. We'll stand on our remarks of June 27th, as well as a letter that I've sent to Mr. Malay on July 4th. I believe I copied the council's legal counsel. We're here as a resource to answer any questions. The bottom line is there is a net metering agreement in effect with Rhode Energy. The city will get the full 25-year benefit of that contract. I know that there is some interest in the status of the Natick Avenue Solar project. That matter will be under discussion tomorrow evening at the Planning Commission. There was an order of the Superior Court remanding a portion to allow some public comment that on information that was shared with the commission after the public hearing was closed in January of 2019. So that will be taken up tomorrow night. But in the meantime, a couple of points I just want to bring to your attention. First, we recognize that there's been a delay in getting the Natick Avenue project built. I'm still confident it will be built, but Revity has been working with the city to look at alternatives to help get the city some savings sooner than the Natick Avenue project. And as recently as last week, we gave the city an alternative for another Revity project that we could tap as a resource for the city of Kranston. And those discussions are ongoing right now. So the bottom line is, on behalf of Mr. Palumbo, we understand there's great interest in the city getting the benefits of this agreement. We have a binding contract that we will fulfill on our end, and we only ask that the city work with us, but we want to try and help the city sooner than the actual operation date for Natick Avenue. And we have a couple alternatives that we've given the administration, and we'll be following up with them in the immediate future. So as I said, we're happy to answer any questions. We're here. If Mr. Malay can't answer one of your questions, we'd be happy to try and support any questions from the council. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else in council chambers that would like to speak? Please state your name, address for the record, and you can have up to 4 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Douglas Doe, 178 Lippert Avenue, Kranston. I mailed a public records request to the city, and I asked 4 basic questions. Please provide an unredacted copy of Revity Energy's 2020 February 4 response to the net metering RFP. I would note that they're about the only company that redacted almost their entire response. Please provide the amount of projected payments to Revity Energy over the contract. Please provide the amount of projected savings over the life of the contract. And please provide the unredacted copy of the report prepared by the city's RFP consultant, Best Practice Energy LLC, hired to evaluate the RFP responses. The Finance Committee should request the same. And number 2 and 3 should be in our Revity's RFP response. Give you an idea what they look like. This is Green Energy's. It's a very detailed spreadsheet broken down by year. Give you some idea of the projected savings from Green Development. They had 2 offers. The first was 22.1 million in payments to Green Development with 12.4 million in savings. The second was 22.5 million in payments to Green Development with 11.9 million in savings. So I suspect Revity Energies are in the same ballpark. Gives you an idea how much money we're gonna be paying out to Revity. In effect, we're gonna be helping pay to build Natick, if Natick goes forward. Revity and or the city should disclose Revity's financial projections. They should be public records. Mr. Murray mentioned the council, the city officials wanted the project to be in the city, but that doesn't make any sense. The RFP was issued after council members and the mayor sponsored the ordinance that banned these projects in residential neighborhoods. Who advocated a proposal in direct violation of city policy? They should come forward and explain themselves. The net metering consultants reports for Coventry and Smithfield are available online, which include Revity and the cost savings spreadsheets. Coventry's consultant wrote in 2020, quote, Revity has a large pipeline of proposed projects. This is valuable to Coventry if the proposed project faces an insurmountable hurdle. You'll be able to replace with another project in their pipeline quickly and won't need to negotiate a new agreement. Natick certainly fits that description. Smithfield's consultant recommended Green and Revity, reaching the same conclusion in 2022. Each has an extensive pipeline of island-based projects, further limiting town risk of credit delivery. There is nothing in the November contract that requires the use of Natick. Appendix A states, to be clear, the renewable energy facilities specified below are not hereby being definitively designated as a facility as of the effective date, which was March 31st, but are hereby being identified as potential renewable energy facilities the seller may hereafter definitively designate as a facility. There are two listed, Natick and Main Street Solar, plus and or any one or more of renewable energy facilities now or hereafter owned or controlled by the seller or its affiliate. Who the affiliate is, we have no idea. It's not identified. The 2022 Smithfield report lists 4 Revity projects, which including 2 in West Greenwich, totaling 59 megawatts. So where's our alternative site? Apparently they're finally talking about it. And why are we stuck with Natick? Because everybody knew it was going to violate city policy going forward. The Revity has apparently quite a few other projects going forward. There's no need for Natick to fulfill this contract at all. If they're offering Smithfield 4 projects in 2022, why aren't we at first in line? Why are we stuck waiting for Natick and for a neighborhood that doesn't want anything to do with it after they saw what happened to Libbet? Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else in council chambers that would like to speak on this matter? Is there anyone on Zoom that would like to speak on this matter?
I see no public comment.
Okay, at this time, I'd like to ask Attorney Malaya if he could please step up to the podium. I'm the one that brought this up, so if I could just make a couple of state comments to you first, and then I have a couple of questions. First of all, I am not an expert on net metering contracts, nor am I a lawyer or an expert on contracts. And I know this is a very complicated matter, but we have constituents that are concerned that and believe that we are not getting a fair shake for a contract that we signed with the previous administration, and it has been amended since then. So what we would like from you tonight, please, is an explanation as to what the status is with the contract. We're not looking for anything that's not public information. What's the status of the contract? Are we benefiting from it? Should we be benefiting more? And are we losing money based on the fact that we are not receiving a net metering contract benefit right now?
Thank you.
So if that, you could just please do that. And I know it's a complicated matter, so good luck.
Thank you, Chairman. Just to address what you started off with, it is. I only can attest to one of the 3 things that you said. I'm a lawyer. I'm not an expert in contracts, so to speak, and I'm learning very much about solar. So this is a learning process for myself as well. what I can offer to and echo the sentiments of Mr. Murray, who has spoken to not only to this committee, but also to the council in full on this. This in 2020, the city of Kranston entered into a contract with Rhode. Okay, and it's to obtain, and again, we get into some technical issues, but there's a number of millions of kilowatt hours, and it's approximately 15,750. Okay, those are kilowatt hours that are purchased through credits. And again, if I misspeak, I welcome Mr. Murray, who's more of an expert on this. But the city would be getting a 32.5 cent reduction, so to speak, on that. That contract was signed, and it is an exclusive contract with the city. That was put out there. My understanding was put out under a request for proposal, even though I'm not sure that that was necessary. That was done so, and Rhode was awarded the contract. Where we stand, to answer one of your last questions, Chairman, Mr. Vice President, is that the city's losing approximately $800,000 to $900,000 per annum because this is tied up in litigation. It's costing this city money to defend the litigation, and it's costing us because the Natick solar farm is not yet built at this point. Now, that's the answer to the broad question. Mr. Murray has, on behalf of Rhode, on behalf of his client, has approached the city and is working with the administration to try and help short circuit some of what we're discussing here. Because for all intents and purposes, it looks like Natick may be tied up in litigation for a while. I don't want to talk too much about the Natick solar farm project for a number of reasons. Number one, I believe it should be in closed session because it's pending litigation. Number two, and more importantly, that matter is before an auxiliary board tomorrow that would eventually have to answer to this council and give a recommendation. So I certainly don't want to get into too much of the details and the weeds on that. But there are some avenues that are being investigated through contracts, through negotiations. There are some meetings coming up between the administration, and we're going to discuss what we can possibly do to move this forward, to save the city money, to take over all the electricity in the city and cover what we have, separate and apart from the school committee, because I want to be clear that the school department is separate and apart, obviously, as the chairman knows. So I hope that answers your questions at this point.
All right, this discussion tonight is not about the Natick solar project. It's about the net metering contract agreement we have with Rhode. That's what this discussion is tonight. When was that agreement supposed to start? That we were supposed to get this 32.5% discount? When was that supposed to start?
I'm sorry to interrupt you. When the facilities are built.
So are you saying that the net metering contract is tied directly into the Natick solar project and only the Natick solar project?
It can be tied into other projects, which is what we've been in discussions with Rhode about. But it is tied directly to the Natick solar farm.
So why haven't we looked into this sooner, seeing that this has been held up for years? Why are we waiting till now to try and get another 32.5% discount and not something sooner?
Chairman, the only thing I can offer is that we're in a contract, and both sides are working within the four walls of that contract. What was already been agreed to prior to Mayor Hopkins' administration and through the agreement through Rhode. The city is working its best to negotiate, I guess would be the best term. But I think in fairness to everyone involved, Mr. Chairman, that it was never anticipated, I think at the time of this contract, that Natick Solar Farm would not be built at this point in time. I think it was always projected that it would be built some 3 years later. Unfortunately, due to litigation and some things that are out of the control of both parties, both sides of the litigation, this has not been answered in full, and in fact is coming back to the city based on a ruling in Superior Court last week.
Right, so the net metering contract is tied directly into the Natick Solar project.
It is.
And we had no other choice. We could not seek other net metering agreements.
So
Is that what you're saying?
no, we did enter in an amended agreement in April of this year, in which Revity Energy has offered to try and mitigate what's going on right now based on the length of time it's taking to litigate the Natick Solar Farm issue. So Revity and the city and the administration spoke. We entered into an agreement. We amended it to allow us to at least to search for different avenues. And Revity has recently, as I just said, approached the city again with an alternative that is currently being discussed.
On what date can we cancel this contract?
That's a hefty question because the contract is 40 pages long. There are a number of ways the contract can be canceled. One being by force majeure, which basically means an act of God. One being by bankruptcy. The third being by obviously the production and mitigating that production. And right now, Revity is doing its best to try and mitigate what we're facing right now.
So in your opinion, has the city lost money based on the fact that we haven't sought another net metering contract?
I can't speak to that. I can say that the city has clearly lost money by the fact that Natick is not built. And we're not up and running. By the fact that that solar farm is not up and running right now, the city is losing money every day.
All right, so Revity hasn't been able to live up to their agreement. So it is costing the city money.
I can't speak to Revity. I can speak to Chairman, the contract and what we have.
Have we had other potential offers on net metering contracts during this period of time that we haven't? Have we had other offers from other companies?
Yes,
Why haven't we sought
city-
any of those? Or what, have we negotiated with other companies?
the city has an exclusive contract with Revity to provide solar credits to the city of Kranston. That was signed in November of 2020.
But I
So-
thought it was amended in April.
Okay, and since April, the answer is no. Since April, the answer is no.
So April, May, June, July, August, are we going to get another net metering contract from another company in the meantime? Because we're losing thousands of dollars a month by not having one. In my eyes, I'm not an expert here, but what I've read and what I've seen, we're losing money. For instance, a 32.5% discount, if we buy $1 million worth of credits, that's $675,000 we would pay instead of $1 million. So that's a $325,000 savings on 1 million credits. And the way the finances are with the city right now, wouldn't we want to be getting on board with another company that wants to give us a net metering contract?
Again, that gets into potential litigation issues, Chairman, that I'd rather discuss in closed session. I mean, I'd be happy to provide the contract that the city has with Revity that was signed by the prior administration. I'd be happy to provide it to Mr. Angel and he could advise the council as to what he sees is in the contract. I'm telling you what's in there and what we're doing at this point in time, Chairman.
So who is currently seeking or negotiating with other companies at this time?
I can tell you that the administration has some meetings set up in the next few days regarding this issue. That's all I'm prepared to say at this point in time.
And when can we get an update on that?
I would honestly say it's not going to be a couple weeks out, Chairman. This is stuff that does last. I totally understand the point you're making, and I totally respect that. But the city is part and parcel to litigation that is tied up in Superior Court and is now not only tied up in Superior Court, Chairman, it's back before this city. And it's back before a commission that now has to give a recommendation, have public hearing tomorrow, and then have a formal vote in the month of September. So I don't think it's prudent to comment on the project at this point in time, based on the fact, knowing that there was going to be public comment tomorrow at a hearing before city officials, and then a vote and recommendations that are going to eventually have to come before this council.
So let's just hypothetically say that Revity never gets online. How long are we going to wait to get another net metering contract? That's my question. Why are we waiting? I know you said that you're starting to look into it, but this is something that the people of this city deserve. It's a financial matter. It's costing us money. I think the people in the city deserve an answer. That's, I'm just representing my constituents at this time. Everyone on the committee received these letters and these reports. So if anyone else would like to speak in right now, please feel free.
Thank you. Through the chair. Solicitor, but for the litigation, would Revity have been compliant with the contract, would have been paying?
My guess, again, it's a crystal ball, but my guess is that Natick Solar Farm, but for litigation, would be up and running. And approximately in year one of the contract, it would be estimated between 800 and 900,000 that the city would be saving in electricity / solar savings. If that was up and running, assuming that the litigation never happened and assuming that all the permits and so forth were granted. But yes, if it was up and running today, we'd already be saving.
And prior to the litigation, just to refresh the public's recollection, the project went through planning, went through the council, was approved. Is that correct?
Yeah, and I might misspeak and I would look back to Mr. Murray if he wants to correct me, but my understanding is that it went before the city. The master plan went before the city. It went before the committee gave it, I believe, a 7-2 positive recommendation. Then the preliminary plan, which sounds like it should really go before the master plan, but for some reason it's named that way, went back before the same committee and I believe was voted 8-1 in recommendation. Then it came before the council and was granted. So yeah, and that all happened, I believe, in fall of 2020, prior to Mayor Hopkins taking office. But this has been tied up. It's been into both the master plan and the preliminary plan were tied up in litigation it went to Superior Court. It languished for a while for reasons beyond, I think, anybody's control. And then most recently, as I said earlier to the chairman, I believe last week, I could be off on, it might be the week before, but I believe it was last week, Judge Vogel gave a decision on this matter, remanding it back to the city for public comment. So we're now back before the planning commission right now. And depending on how those rulings go, there may be other appeals that are taken by either party, depending on how anything goes.
I want to make sure we keep this discussion on the net metering contract, please.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Chairman. So, I mean, it's pretty common sense to me that the city has acted in good faith. Revity has acted in good faith, but both parties have been stopped due to this litigation by this group. Is that correct?
Yeah, I would clearly echo that comment. There is good faith on both sides. There's no doubt about it.
So it would seem to me that we shouldn't be defying our contracts that we've entered into in good faith at this time. I think we have to stand by our contract. But for one group that's putting it to litigation, I think that would be the group that would be costing the city 600 to 800,000 a year.
I mean, again, I agree with what you're saying, Councilman. This is the contract. I mean, this is, there's 30 some odd 40 pages in this contract that deals with the city and Revity. And to take it down to its basic components, it deals with Revity providing solar credits from part and parcel from Natick, because that's where it would come from. And that was the basis of this agreement.
Thank you, Solicitor.
Would anyone else like to make a comment? Councilwoman Renzulli.
Thank you. I am just curious, would Revity waive the exclusivity of their contract to see if they were,
I just didn't hear the last part, Councilwoman.
they had waived the exclusivity of their contract.
Yes.
Is that permanent? Was that for a certain period of months?
It's permanent to the contract, but it's also subject to their approval. They haven't waived their full approval of having exclusivity. So
Okay, and can you confirm, I would usually ask Mr. Igo if he was here, did they made a payment to the city for the Westfield, correct? $100,000?
yes, separate and apart from the solar contract, there was a provision which Revity provided a voluntary contribution.
But they
Yes.
did pay it, correct?
Yes,
Okay,
and that has been already made and paid.
okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Anyone else? Councilwoman Jermaine.
Thank you. My question, when the litigation started, does the city pay for that as well?
So, yes, we have counsel handling the matter on behalf of the city. Revity has its own counsel. The plaintiffs in the action have their own attorney. And the city is a party to it, obviously, because we're part and parcel to what occurred. So it is costing the city monthly and annually money during this litigation process. So yes,
Do you have a number?
I do. I would have to look it up, but from the top of my head in the last fiscal year, approximately $22,000 to $25,000 was expended on the litigation for the city. I could be off on that. Please don't hold me to that exact number. I would look it up.
Earlier, you answered question of Vice President Ferry asked. From my understanding is if the city would have to contract another company that will put also a new litigation, is like a risk of a new litigation for the city. Correct.
It's possible. It would require some negotiations without a doubt, because Revity right now is the exclusive provider and they're willing to waive that. But again, it would require negotiations. It would require, again, I'm not aware of too many companies that are out there and able to produce the amount of electricity and solar credits that are being offered. So we're talking about a whole city, obviously, a little bit different, Councilwoman, than, just putting them on your ceiling, on your roof. So again, those are all subject to discussions between the administration and Revity at this point.
My next question is, from what I understand is like we will start like from zero. If based on the decision of Supreme Court that we made, the case is now returning the case to the plan is like we start over. Is that correct?
It may or may not, yes. If from the looks of things, it does look like we're somewhat starting over due to the public comment portion. It does appear that we are starting over, but that, I don't want to get too deep in the weeds, could result in some litigation as well.
Do we have any precedent?
Do you have any, I'm sorry?
Precedent?
not that I'm aware of. I think this is the first time, at least I'm aware of something being sent back for a partial comment based on the stages. Because don't forget, the master and the preliminary already went through the full review process and was given the approval by the planning board and by the city council. So they were both recommended, like I said, 7-2 and 8-1 to approve this. So now it's coming back. I'm not sure how, I'm not fully active in the Superior Court litigation, but I'm not sure how that could affect us in totally. I'm not.
Again, I would like to
Thank
keep
you.
the conversation based on the net metering contract and not the litigation on the solar project, please. Any other questions? I'll close with this. I spent a lot of time looking at the contract. I spent a lot of time looking into this. And I spent a lot of time on the phone speaking with people. I am almost certain that net metering contract is not tied directly into that Revity project from what I see. And I said, I'm not a lawyer, but what I have seen, what I've spoken to and research I've done, that would be my opinion. So I'm hoping that 30 pages has been studied. So someone in the city can make a decision of whether or not we should be able to have another 32.5% discount as soon as possible, because the citizens of the city deserve that. And that's basically what my goal here tonight is, to find out why we're not getting another net metering contract, because Revity has not been able to deliver what they said they were going to deliver, and they should be offering it at least from another facility. And I know they are claiming that there are other facilities available that they offer net metering contracts through. So why isn't the city of Kranston benefiting from a net metering contract right now? Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman.
May I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Meeting is adjourned.